Got Butterfingers today. Piece of the fam, piece of the collective. It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Yeah, I can hear myself. Cool, cool, cool. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Let's get straight to the. All right, so what we're doing is esoteric spiritual study, spiritual education, information. This isn't to entertain you. This isn't to motivate you, inspire you, make you feel good about your bullshit decisions and things of that nature. This isn't to teach you how to put toothpaste back into the toothpaste tube because you made mistakes. Now you want to go to God, Jesus, spiritual leaders to heal the past. This is not a video for this. This is a video for now and moving into the future. This is a video for understanding and education. If you don't want to hear my beautiful voice, my voice is irritating to you, aggravating to your soul, please click the link in the description, which is titled The Empress article, and you can read everything that I'm about to talk about in this video for as little as $5 a month, or you can pay for the yearly subscription, because I will be writing 2 books this year, one on the tarot, another on the chakras. And if you want to keep up with the pace of how I'm writing and what I'm writing about, you will have first dibs on the Substack. I figure it'll be a cool way to support my channel, to support my content, and also a cool way to help people. Now, here we are. Get this book if you haven't gotten it already. I reflect on this book whenever I do astrology videos. I put out more or less reference books because it's a lot of spiritual information and a lot of spiritual knowledge out there. And a lot of it is convoluted, conflated, confusing. And to me, it makes no sense at first. That's why I've been in this particular study for the last 20 years of my life. To be able to elucidate some interesting and hidden and spiritual concepts for the average person. A person asked me on my Instagram video, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Hood Mystic. Person asked me on my Instagram video about the spiritual life or the spiritual journey. Where do I start? And my answer to him, my answer to you, my answer to anybody seeking to start the spiritual journey and they want to get some literature that's not convoluted, confusing, conflating this with that, and just a whole bunch of random words just so you can get some money, well, then get my books. Now, the disclaimer is these books will do nothing if they sit on your shelves. You have to engage, work with them. I got journals, workbooks, I got full textbooks. And it's all with the hopes of you having a start, having a foundation of spiritual information, spiritual knowledge. I'm an educator. I'm a teacher. I've been active in my community, active online, helped a lot of people, but in majority to the people that I've helped, they wanted to help themselves. So if that reminds you of you, then click the links in the descriptions. You're supporting me, but you're also supporting yourself. And that's just the way we get down. We get down. One's in the chat if that's fair. One's in the chat if that's fair. As we move on, I just want to make sure y'all here. Today we're going to be talking about the Empress. We're going to be talking about Daleth. And we're going to be talking about Venus. We're going to talk about chaos. We're going to talk about fractal cosmology. Now, these are deep scientific terms that scientists all over the world have studied, wrote papers, pontificated, did lectures, theories, experiments, laboratories, and that's great for the scientists of the world. But for you, you are the actual holder of psychic energies and psychic knowledge. The purpose of my video, the purpose of my content, the purpose of my literature, the purpose of everything that I'm doing is to get you to see the vast inner nature and the vast inner world. Some people call it the tree of life. Some people call it the Kabbalah. Some people call it Hebrew. Some people call it astrology. Some people call it a tarot. I call it all things. I call it us being spiritual beings having a human experience. Shout out to Sacred. Shout out to Miguel. Shout out to Latasha. Shout out to you, Chris, Kasha. Appreciate you guys tapping in, and those who are watching and operating heavy machinery and can't participate in the chat. Just want to say shout out to you as well as we deep dive into the intricacies and the modalities of the Empress. For most of us, we just throw it all in one pot. Spirituality for most people are the things that look good and the things that feel good, the things that sound good. Well, growing up, when I heard things that sound good, you know what I used to say to people? Man, that sounds good. But usually what sounds good is too good to be true. So when somebody presents to you an easy way, just know that it's not as easy as they're making it out to be. However, if somebody is saying, hey, you need to figure this out, work through this, build your knowledge, gain knowledge, then apply your knowledge, show your knowledge, and build, well, this is what we're trying to pursue in the realms of spiritual development. We're not going for the easy way. We're trying to understand the intricate nature of spirituality. So before I start this video, I just want to show, well, before I start this video, I've already started this video. I just wanted to elucidate something to you guys because it's very important as we understand the Hebrew alphabet and we also understand spiritual communication, right? The reason why, now this is real. People will tell you, hey, I'm a spiritualist because I know secrets. I'm a spiritualist because I'm special. I'm going to tell you I'm a spiritualist because I've learned the Hebrew alphabet. The same way as nobody can tell you how to spell letters and construct sentences if they don't understand the alphabet. Now, because you don't understand the alphabet, you can't write a letter to your mom, tell her, can't write a love letter to your girlfriend. You can't do anything. You can't build. So you would possibly create a fantasy of what spelling is, what letters are, what reading is. And you would look at the people who could actually read as them possessing some magical power that you don't possess. However, if you could learn your ABCs, you could also learn the Hebrew alphabet. You could also learn how to build up your spiritual repertoire. Because if you're saying, I want money, I want money, I want money, guess what? You're not going to get money. If you say, I want love, I want love, I really want love, guess what? You're not going to get love. You have to actually communicate effectively in a way that assures it. And the only way that you could assure it is through knowledge. This is not a feel-good video. This is not a video to pat you on your ass and say, congratulations, you've been doing a good job today. No, this is a video for people who wish to understand and to study and to realize that spiritual communication is not done through the English language. The reason why you say, I want to have peace and you go through hell. The reason that you say, I want to be rich and you still can't, you don't got no fucking money. The reason why you say, I want a relationship and you single as a dollar bill is because your subconscious mind does not understand the English language. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody is not rich. But when we talk about religion, when we talk about metaphysics, when we talk about spiritual development, there is a simple, basic mechanism, a string through all of this, and it is the Hebrew alphabet. The Hebrew alphabet even births our English language. So even our understanding of the world around us is based upon the Hebrew letters, because the Hebrew letters are a level of communication, spiritual communication. So what we're trying to bring about is a symbol of imagination and understanding magical images. What is a magical image? A magical image is the letter A. A magical image is the letter B. A magical image is the letter C, etc. These are magical images. And when we are able to bring about our creative imagination, not specifically to the letter A, because the A is a derivative to the Hebrew letter Aleph. The letter B is a derivative to the Hebrew letter Beth. The letter C is a derivative to the Hebrew letter Gamel. So you don't want to reflect on the derivative, you want to reflect on the root. So we're talking about creative imagination. We're talking about understanding how to input magical images into our subconscious mind. And as you go through the Hebrew letters, you know how to do it. And it's completely in the understanding of the alphabet. So that's kind of dark. So let me see if I can pull it down a little bit. So what we're trying to, the modality to improving your spiritual understanding is a simple process of creative imagination and magical images. So the magical image that you're looking at in the small right hand of the screen is the image of an aleph. Now the image of an aleph is 2 yods and a vowel or a vav. Yod is the sperm. The vav is, of course, the veg. And when you put these two energies together and you reflect on them, what you see is a sperm pointing low and a sperm pointing high. Mantak Chia talks about sperm. So whatever you want to talk about, about spirituality. So we could talk about Mantak Chia, or we could talk about Drumvalo Melchizedek, or whoever you want to learn. The root of their spiritual conversation is the Hebrew alphabet. Now, Mantak Chia is very powerful because he's one of the few spiritualists that talk about sex, right? Even though sex is the common denominator for all spiritual beings. Without sex, we would not be here. But there are two forms of sex. There is the physical sex, and then there's the spiritual sex. There's the physical sperm, and then there's the spiritual sperm. So in activating your spiritual energy, it is understanding and reflecting on what you have been created out of, sperm. You were created out of sperm. So if you like, this is nasty, sperm is nasty, then you're not going to be able to meditate and reflect on it. And then if nasty is how you take it, then your vessel is nasty, because your body is nothing but elongated and elasticated spiritual scientifical sperm that have just expanded over time. Everything starts at a seed, and a seed is an understanding of what it will create. So in all metaphysics and all spiritual understanding, your intention is supreme. The problem with spiritual communities and spiritual understanding, people just want to scam you all the goddamn time. So when it comes to figuring out who you are, you're running from this scam artist to the next scam artist, trying to fulfill your scam artist lifestyle. I don't know what is the connect or what's the hook, but what you want to manifest in your life is completely up to you. But the scam artist hasn't done that. So what the scam artist does is prey on spiritual beings. So the key understanding of Aleph, or the letter A, or the number 0, is as above, so below. It represents a cosmic womb. So from a creative, imaginative space, before you start your day, the spiritualist reflects from this 0 point. The human person reflects from lack, or what they have, or what they don't have, or what they want to get before the day has even started. So most people are out of the Kabbalah or outside of the tree of life just from their predominant thought of the day. You don't recognize as above, so below. You recognize that you need to fight for whatever it is that you need to fight for, when all you have to do is program your seed. Because if you program a seed to be a rose, it's going to go through the process of becoming a rose. As above, so below. So we all have needs, wants, and desires. But what's so interesting is that humans would rather say what they want and what they desire and what they need, utilizing the English language, and not ever get what they want. But then to present another idea to assist you by using sacred geometry, imagination, programming your subconscious mind, then people don't want to sit down and take the notes and understand. So this is Aleph, this is A, this is 0, this is the source code. 0s and 1s is how we're able to have this conversation today. The next letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and what we're talking about is the Empress. But before we can talk about the Empress, I have to do a review. Aleph is tied to the Fool, because the Fool is the person who is not a human being that has conditioned himself to think, I am a singer, I am a jazz musician, I am a teacher, I am something that I am in the physical life, and I am not a spiritual being having a human experience. That is not a fool. And that is 99% of the people that you'll come across. They're trying to validate themselves within the illusion. As spiritual beings, as above, so below. And I wonder if y'all understand this. It's like drawing a picture. And instead of tapping into the energy that draws the picture, you want to tap into the actual picture. So you draw a picture of a city, and now you're trying to run for mayor in the city of the picture that you drew. And then you're saying, well, I feel bad because I'm not a mayor in the city that I've drew a picture of. There's 2 problems with that. You literally drawing the picture. And we're talking about 3D landscapes, 4D landscapes, 5D landscapes. You create the ultimate life for yourself on all spiritual levels. The end. So any defect in your programming, I'm an ain't shit bitch, I'm a deadbeat dad, I ain't a no good, I'm a no good father, whatever the fuck you might say about yourself, not in reference to the picture you drew, but in reference to who you are as a spiritual being, it starts with Aleph. In all spiritual understandings, you're talking about a Orisha, a Babalao, voodoo. We're talking about the Loa, the snake, the netherworld, the underworld. Going back, like everything in the Orishas starts with Olokun. Where is Olokun? In the depths of the ocean. Yemiya is the shallow part of the ocean. Olokun is the depths, and that is one of the roots in Egyptian mythology. Atum, the god of the primordial mound. The primordial mound, if you didn't know, is the primordial womb. Everything you want to create, because you want it so bad, you're going further when really you need to go back. Why do you need to go back? Because you need to find your source, which is zero. There is nobody's source that is -1. There is nobody's source that's number 1. There's nobody's source that's 599. Everybody's source is back at 0 in the womb, because nobody fucking appeared fucking like from a teleport from another dimension. We came in our teleport, in our dimension was in the depths of the water, our mother's belly, through her womb. So our inception, our understanding of sperm, our understanding of who we are, we should not fret over who we are as a teacher, a candlestick maker, a baker, a cook, a chef, a call center worker. We are all spiritual beings and we all start at 0. This is Aleph. This is A. This is the fool. And you got to be a damn fool to relinquish all of the cool shit you can do within the picture. But see, the thing is, my picture is my picture. Your picture is your picture. Her picture is her picture. So I can't tell you how to draw your picture. What I'm saying is, don't get so caught up in your picture that you forget that you are the author. From the 5-dimensional perspective, from the 4th-dimensional perspective, from the 3rd-dimensional perspective, from the 2D perspective, from the 1D perspective, in the dimension that nobody talks about, the 0 dimension, the dimension of home, the dimension of the Great Mother. So as we explore the Tarot, that's essentially what we're doing. We're exploring the physics and the mechanics of interfacing and working with the Great Mother. This is a basic mechanism of doing spiritual work. I don't care what system you like or what system you love. This is why Hebrew, Muslim, Jewish, they all read from the same book. Why? Because the root is the same language. The basic mechanisms is the same language. This book, Success Empowered Through Psalms, it goes through what each psalm is a spell for. We're getting into root understandings of utilizing spiritual modalities that require you to just simply be able to meditate on source code. These are basic mechanisms and basic tools. So our next letter that we'll be talking about within our review is Beta, or Bet, or Beth. Jesus is from Bethlehem. The first understanding in the Bible is in the beginning. In the beginning is not the actual beginning, because the beginning has a specific precedence, as above or so below. Is your beginning going to be that of an ain't shit nigga? Or is your beginning going to be a beginning of being a spiritual being? Is your beginning going to be of a person who have made mistakes? So you plant the seed of a person who have made mistakes, and now you have a garden of I've made mistakes. One's in the chat if you understand the president of Aleph creating a beginning. Because we could look at it as if our beginning is just this random precipice moment that represents this thing, or we could understand that every beginning comes from an old ending. You hear that a lot, right? But I never really think about it until you want to create a new beginning for yourself. And if you want to create a new beginning for yourself, you have to understand that you're coming from old energy. Your present is a result of the old. So when you want to start new, it's a very distinct understanding. Are you going to go as above or so below? Beth means the beginning. Beth represents working with the soul. Beth is a symbol for the mouth. Beth is also a symbol for the temple or the house. The temple or the house to the soul. So one of the understandings of the mouth is that the mouth has to be utilized, or else the mouth is just shut. And a closed mouth does not get fed. So when you work with the soul, an oxymoron is to not utilize Beth. This is the differentiation between as above and so below. And if you've understood Aleph, that moved you into Beth. Because when you are one with divinity, there are a lot of things that you need to say. There's a lot of things that you need to learn. There's a lot of healing that needs to do by working or opening and closing the mouth. Another understanding of Beth is the temple. The temple of what? What does the temple house? The temple houses the soul. So Beth, B, booty, breasts, backside, big bodacious, bodily, banger. These are concepts, booty, but these are concepts that represent life and life giving. This is why the B is shaped like this. This is why Beth is shaped like that round curve representing the breast, representing the buttocks. Everything has different connotations. Beth could mean B, but it could also mean two. Aleph can mean A, but it can also mean one. And how it shows up requires imagination, requires reflection on specific symbols. If you meditate on Aleph in your dream space, you'll wake up with downloads and decodes that will bring you into Beth. When you meditate on Beth, you will get downloads and decodes that bring you into a level of magnetism. And we have to address sex because sex is important. The person that you choose to have sex with is important. Your relationships are important. Only today in society where we haven't actually learned how to grow and deal with other people in a pragmatic way, we are afraid of one another. So we've come up with this bright idea of living life alone, to which moving into working with the soul, how does it work where you utilize your voice and you talk to yourself? Working with the soul brings you into a form of a journey. See, these are clear distinctions. These are basic mechanics of if you are doing spiritual work versus are you just masturbating? Okay, Kyrie, what are you talking about? Well, Beth leads us into Gamel. Gamel is symbolized by a camel. The thing about ancient symbols is that we can always use a modern symbol to help us understand. So a camel starts with a C, starts with an A. What else starts with a C and an A that could be related to a camel? What's related to a camel that starts with a C, starts with an A? It would be a modern understanding of a camel. And when I've studied into tech support, when I've studied this and studied this language and these letters, I've studied it for 10 years. And when I first started, it didn't make any sense to me. And even worse, I didn't even have nobody to talk to. I had to read language and books from people who didn't even understand me as a reader. So it's not to start this off or to continue. The understanding of Hebrew is not an easy thing that you're just going to grasp instantly. Just the same way for us, we didn't just easily grasp how to spell and how to read and how to count. For some of us, it took us years to fully grasp it. Some of us was in the 4th grade with a 2nd grade reading level. So it's not something that is supposed to come naturally or supposed to come easy. Why? Because as spiritual beings, we are called to meditate daily. Thank you, Mocha Bliss. Gamel is a camel, but that would be an ancient word for a car, letting us know that the clear basic mechanism to the spiritual journey requires a vehicle to assist us on that journey. This is why Gamel is seen as duality. One point over here to another point over there. Most people want to be in their comfort zone. Most people want to stay in their same city. Most people want to do the same shit that they've been doing. So Gamel, to the average person, is not a concept that would require us to really sit and meditate on. You come to this when it's time for you to move, when it's time for you to understand. Even deeper, the camel holds water in its hump. Water is a symbol for the high priestess. The high priestess is a divine feminine energy. So when you look at the divine feminine energy, it is your vehicle. It is your value. Your feminine youth and your beauty is your vehicle to life. Most people in this country, they're either not taught this or they're not taught this. Or they're taught it and they, like, I grew up in a point, and it's probably still happening, they would have the Southern Belles. The Southern Belles represent Gamel because these women would no doubt get married to rich and wealthy men. Even deeper, Gamel in Hebrew understanding is called the rich man, while Deleth is called the poor man. Because when we are first understanding that we are spiritual beings, Aleph, then we begin our journey from this point of understanding ourselves as a spiritual being. This creates, for a rich man to a poor person, you don't got to do the work. You don't got to work at Save-A-Lot no more. You don't got to catch the bus no more. So on a metaphysical aspect, we have financial issues. We have housing issues. We have so many things in our lives that we don't know how to manage it or how to understand the fluctuations of life. It's up and down. For humans, for spiritual beings, we understand spiritual metaphysical seed work or root work, which voodoo people would say. Same rules apply. I wish I would have my voodoo tarot deck, because the voodoo tarot deck, of course, is utilizing Hebrew principles. Because this is why there are thousands of tarot decks in all different types of understandings, because the basic mechanisms hold sturdy. And this is what nobody will tell you. Gamel represents menstruation. Why is menstruation important in reference to Aleph? Because when you have menstruation and you have semen, what does that create? A pregnancy. You have never seen somebody say, I was walking past a dog and I got pregnant. I can't believe it. It's a miracle. Even though there are many different men, there are many different women, the basic mechanism for having a child remains the same. So why would spirituality be any different? One's in the chat if you can understand that. The basic mechanisms to spirituality are the same. The basic mechanisms to sex are the same. Many different positions, many different partners. But the basic mechanism is something that could travel from here to India. In India, they doing up and down sex. In Italy, they doing up and down sex. So when we understand spirituality, we as spiritual beings need to understand the basic principles, and the basic principles is divine feminine worship. I don't care what life show you. I don't care what life show you. Understanding menstruation, understanding your cycle, understanding your wife's cycle is if you're a man. Because you just as responsible, right? Why? If you get her pregnant, you not knowing when her ovulation cycle was is never an excuse that I heard a nigga use. However, you can know it's 2 weeks from her menstruation. I'm not going to shoot up the club tonight. Too many black men and women complain about kids that they don't want. One's in the chat. Not that they don't want them, kids that they didn't plan. But then when I say we got a book that helps you track your cycle, oh man, I don't got enough time for that. But then you got this whole child for 18 years that you gonna create the time for the child now? How did that make sense? You don't got time to understand your body, but you got time to understand a child? When we're studying these alphabets, when we're studying this tarot, we're going to talk about men and we're going to talk about women. Because guess what? We are men, we are women. When we start talking about spirituality and we start talking about tarot, we're going to talk about sex. Because guess what? You're going to have sex. The problem is you don't like to talk about it. This is why you crash out. The most important thing that you'll ever experience, the most magical thing that you'll ever experience, yet is the least thing that you want to talk about. You hoes want to talk about manifestation when you really need to be talking about spiritual and sexual development and sexual understanding. So when we are trying to build about spiritual communication, but you have your pH balance is off, your pH balance is off because the man that you having sex with is not sexually committed to you, spiritually aligned with you, and he's ejaculating in you. But now this conversation about spiritual communication, but you don't even have peace on your mind. You are a man who is a divine masculine being, but you out here chasing a hood rat asshole. Talking about, yeah, I'm feeling this conversation about Aleph and Beth Gamel, but let me text this girl real quick and see if she not sucking dick. Maybe I could come over and hang out with her or something like that. You a fool. Not the good kind neither. Because when we talk about everything that I've talked about in Chakra Nova and went through the parasympathetic system, I would hope that y'all would come into this conversation with some form of an understanding that you need to relax. You cannot relax when your energy is misaligned by either not having a partner or having a fucked up partner, because your energy, your basis, your sperm is your sexual energy. And not talking about it and not addressing it and not dealing with it is the elephant in the room that stomps you out every time. Because how you feel in your mood or your moon or your Gamel, or how you travel inwardly, how you understand your phases. If you understand your phases and you understand your energy, you understand how you feel, you don't have to fake it. You can be integrally, spiritually connected because you've done the inner work to relax, to have these types of conversations, to say, oh, I do know how to program my subconscious mind because I do know how to relax. I do know how to raise my sexual energy. I do know how to not run the streets, because some people will be so lonely at night to do weird shit and deal with weird people and then try to figure out why they can't get it together. Just because nobody knows that you fucking these niggas secretly don't mean that your DNA don't know. Your DNA is right there front and center when you calling them over on the late night. Your DNA is watching everything. Within your DNA is not yours. You are giving your DNA from your ancestors. This is why that meme that pop up when you watching porn and your ancestors looking down at you shaking your head is not a meme, it's real life. You could be doing so much more, but you watching this goddamn weird ass pornography on your internet and on your phone. So to summarize, working with the Hebrew alphabet personally over time is a way for you to spiritually communicate with your subconscious mind. You do not have to verbalize Hebrew words or know the Hebrew language fluently. Ask where the bathroom is. Do you know how to order a baklava or shit like that? No. We are learning each letter, corresponding it with the tarot, meditating on the tarot, or meditating on the letters as a form of expanding our creative imagination upon specific magical images that have worked. Every school in America is utilizing the ABCs. And it's working. Motherfuckers is learning how to spell, learning how to write. How are we learning this language so magically? Because Aleph, Bet, Gamel, and the Hebrew letters is an ancient source code that everything that we create now is the basis of these specific letters. Do you need to know these letters? Do you need to understand what I'm talking about specifically? No. This is the purpose of meditating. If you knew what it is that you was meditating specifically on, you probably wouldn't meditate. You're probably looking for a trick or a shortcut. There is no shortcuts in reference to meditating and understanding. Another good book, and I got it right here. I'm giving out books. One's in the chat if I'm giving out books. Secret Doors of the Kabbalah. Now, this isn't about the Hebrew letters. This is more to do about the tree of life and help you understand the tree of life and to help you understand the power of imagination and ceremony. There is no tangible, realistic thing. The same way, there's no tangible, realistic thing that connect my phone to nobody. There is no strings. It's like I'm doing a magic trick. There's nothing tangible that's connecting my phone to the internet, but it's still connected to the fucking internet. There's nothing tangible to say that you're not a spiritual being having this human experience, but yet and still you are. So let's continue on with the lecture. We're talking about the Empress today. We're talking about Daleth. Now, we cannot talk about the Empress unless we talk about the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is the video that I did previous to this in the realms of the SpiritVerse, going through these tarot cards. If the High Priestess is youth, feminine, menstruation, what is the Empress? Let's be specific. Let's be specific. The Empress is pregnancy. The Empress is fulfillment. Young women need older women, and older women need younger women. The High Priestess needs the Empress, but as far as I'm understanding it, these two energies are conflated so deeply that one cannot differentiate one from the other. The young woman wants to be the Empress. She doesn't want to bask in her beauty. She doesn't want to bask in her potential. She wants to have it. The Empress, because the Empress is just like the High Priestess who didn't bask in her energy, becomes resentful, becomes angry, becomes in a space of isolating herself. Because the only worth that we have is our sexual energy. You got completely finessed out of your sexual energy by society, by your parents who told you you need to get a degree before you do anything, or your first boyfriend who was getting some of the best pussy known to man free of charge. You know what a boyfriend is? A boyfriend is just a client for a prostitute that never pays. You are either married or you are single. And if you are single, your sexual energy is yours. This is why the Empress only deals with who? The Emperor. What is the Emperor? A man that is disciplined, a man that is on his shit. Is nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. Why the Empress represents relationships. Great ones, marriages, increase, growth, pregnancy. It'd be weird to tell ancient people, this woman is pregnant. Where is her father at? You mean her baby daddy? What is a baby daddy? I don't know what that is. This is a man that gets a woman pregnant and assumes no responsibility to the child. And y'all don't cut his dick off? So he don't create more children like this? No, we just let him keep fucking hoes and create more babies. And now we got a whole society of fatherless babies because we haven't prioritized relationships and we prioritize, motherfuckers fucking. When it comes to the Empress, most people don't understand it. Most people don't grasp it. Because there is no separation. There is no mechanism to understand that one begets the other. Youthfulness is a preparation for marriage. Meg Thee Stallion have got people turn their youthfulness, a college student. Now our divine feminines are going to spring break. What happens at spring break? Savage, bestial men drain you of your sexual energy. Every man that have sex with you, that's not your husband, drains you of your high priestess energy, drained you of your oracular ability, drained you of your psychic power. So now you get into the Empress. You was trying to be the Empress when you was the high priestess. Does that make sense? I know it's a triggering conversation. But I'm not trying to trigger you because the Empress don't even have no emotions. Pregnancy, life, nature is emotionless. The trees don't cry. Even though a woman might cry during pregnancy, the mechanism of pregnancy is not a matter of happiness or sadness. It's a scientific process. We are born the same way as a flower blooms, scientifically, not emotionally. So when choosing partners, because you love somebody, which you don't love them, you're in lust. You're infatuated. You're in limerence, Limerance. Google it, not love. Because the Empress is an unconditional love. And to be unconditionally loving, you can't have a specific emotion. This is why the Empress is an energy that the colonizers have tapped into. Because she's unbiased. Because she only operates off a basic mechanism. This is why a serial killer can plant a seed and that seed will still grow. The ability for a seed to grow into gestate into a living organism is the result of the Empress. When a man has sex with a woman and impregnates her, that seed then is able to germinate and grow into a living human being. That process is the result of the cosmic womb. Black women are a microcosm to this. Women in general are a microcosm to this. So when you wonder about your spiritual energy, did you have to take a course to have that baby? Did you take an online course to take that dick, to eat that pussy, having all that sex and missionary and doggy style? You ain't take no online course to heal. You just in it to win it. That's what you need to figure out. That's what you need to take a course for. Understanding your sexual energy to not lead you. One of the understandings of the Empress is the woods, is nature. Nature is a doorway. There's a lot of things that I've done along my spiritual journey, but the most beneficial, the thing that have helped me before I was young, when I was young, teenager, whatever situation I've ever been in was nature. Being able to walk in the woods. See, when you deal with the Empress, you're dealing with the life force energy, the giving of energy. And there's a basic mechanism to understanding how these things work. There are seeds and there are wombs. When you put a seed with a womb, this is Dalet. This is the doorway. This is why ABC, you call it the ABCs, because the root letters to Hebrew is a basic understanding. Dalet brings you into the other letters. So if it wasn't for the Empress, if it wasn't for the divine feminine energy, there would be no trees. If there was no trees, there would be no air. Men cannot grow things from the earth. There would be no food. There would be no sustenance. Women are a microcosm of creation. This is why walking in the woods is so important, because it's not specific to spitting game and having on some brand new Timberlands, wearing a new outfit with a fresh haircut, you know, chica asks you, I'm trying to have a nigga pay all my bills, tapping into her masculine energy, but thinking that it is her feminine energy. The divine feminine don't care how you are. This is why you can walk in the woods, wear anything. This is why you never seen a piece of fruit grow out of the garden and then you ask yourself, man, I wonder what the nigga was wearing when he planted this seed in the ground. You know why you never thought about that? Because it's irrelevant. These social constructs of this earth has taken us out of what is completely relevant to our spiritual development. So because the world is perfect, there are some fail safes to it. You must become perfect energetically and spiritually, which then becomes what the seed will become. If you say it's a fucked up world and it's racism and they hate men, they hate women, they hate gay people, they hate black people, they hate white people, one's in the chat, if you understand that it's people who feel like because they who they are that the world hate them. If you black, they hate you. If you white, they hate you. If you a man, they hate you. If you a woman, they hate you. You understand that these are social constructs that take you out of the concept that is a perfect world as a spiritual being. Why is I don't know if y'all ever been to Detroit, but it's a lot of hotels in Detroit. It's a lot of hotels. There's more hotels than I ever seen in my life. What you think they doing in them hotel rooms? Reading books, talking about the future. I mean, every night niggas is going into them hotels to do what? Tap into the perfect world, tap into the Empress. Because when you plant a seed, you plant one seed, you will get one bush, but it'll have many different fruits. When you are a husband and wife and you have a child, and you pour into that child and you love that child, guess what that child does for you? He pours back into you. But we don't understand that because we look at our children as burdens because we don't have the actual foundation, Empress, Emperor, which we'll be talking about in our next conversation. What you'll understand about studying the tarot and going through these letters is that each letter leads into the next letter. And each letter has a theme or a concept. Each card leads into the next card. This is why G and D are next to each other. This is why Gamel and Daleth is next to each other. Now, if I've told you G and D, what is that? If you put a vowel in between G and D, what do you get? God. Gamel is the high priestess. Daleth is the Empress. And when you're talking about these two energies, these are both feminine energies. When you're talking about the Empress, you're talking about cosmic matter. You're talking about the soil. What is the soil? The soil is dark. The soil is black. Whether you like it or not, God is a black woman. And if y'all don't understand that, y'all don't get into the Kabbalah of it. This is just from a Kabbalistic understanding. I ain't even watched no polite video. What is the Empress? There's two forms of women. There are mothers, and then there are women who are not mothers. Each woman deserves respect. Each woman deserves understanding. The problem is that society will tell you if you don't have kids, you ain't shit bitch. One's in the chat. You ain't worth a damn thing if you don't have kids. But what if you are a high priestess? Some women are high priestess, some women are empresses. Understanding the energy, you could turn your high priestess energy into empress. You could become the great mother if you want. The birth mother if you want. But this is an understanding. This is a clear understanding. because y'all could follow the trends. Y'all love what the next bitch is doing, thinking that the next bitch is doing something that you should be doing, and have no knowledge of self. I don't know. Maybe every woman is supposed to be married and have children, but it don't always work out like that. So you're gonna look at, maybe every man is supposed to be a husband and have kids. I've seen men die who never had kids, never had a wife. And it makes more sense as I'm studying these particular concepts that the mother stands alone. The high priestess stands alone. And if you understand these two transitional phases, then you're able to have a sense of understanding. The problem with these types of conversations, the reason why everybody is not paying attention to, not because it's just like, it's Kyrie and everybody should listen to me. No. I mean, people didn't pay attention to Aleister Crowley. People didn't pay attention to Pascal Beverly Randolph either. Not as a whole. So people rather be finessed and seduced into a lie. And I'm okay with that. But when we talk about this spirituality, though, we talking about some serious stuff. And if you worried about what niggas got or what niggas don't got, then you are paying attention to the wrong thing. This is about darkness. The divine feminine is about darkness. Darkness in closing your eyes and meditating. Darkness in planting a seed underneath the earth. Darkness in meditating on the stars. Darkness in meditating to magical images. Y'all wish for stuff and want stuff so bad and never get it, and now everything is evil. So it is the light shit that y'all been fucking with. Y'all been good people this whole entire time. Been great people this whole entire time. Been getting your ass kicked though. Because you haven't planted the seed in the earth, because the darkness is evil. How is the darkness evil? And that's how you produce food. How is that the realm of the devil? And we all eat sustenance. Naturally, animals eat berries and nuts. You don't even have to be told this. But darkness is evil? Cosmic enlightenment, understanding your chart is evil? So I guess we just all going to just wait on this patriarchal Jesus to come and save us then, huh? And the black woman is right in front of you. And niggas is waiting for Jesus. The earth is under your feet and you waiting for Jesus. The student who is dazzled by any given manifestation may be led astray. It could be anything. It's subtle. I seen a goddamn Mercedes-Benz AMG today. 2022. All black. With the goddamn factory goddamn rims on it that look like you got them at a fucking rim shop. I looked at that goddamn Mercedes. I looked at my ski mask. Looked at the bank. Said, no, I got kids. Any student who is dazzled by any given manifestation may be led astray. The things that you want are leading you to astray. Why? Because there is nothing more powerful than you, but you don't sit with yourself long enough because the things that you want are more powerful than you. They're pulling you away from yourself. The things that you want, the things that you are manifest, when you are made manifest. You are born manifesting. You are a little sperm and you manifested a body. manifested a mind, manifested a personality, manifested some goddamn hips. You are manifestation. You don't even want yourself. This is why we are lost as a society. This is why we are zombie brain dead, because manifestations have led us astray. And the Empress leads us to the divine feminine energy in those viscous innards. In no other card, it so necessary to disregard the parts and concentrate upon the whole. The whole represents the cosmic patterns. What are cosmic patterns for dummies? I'm a dummy. I'm not even trying to be deep. A cosmic pattern is spring means plant the goddamn seeds. New moon means the most fertile time. So why is Easter celebrated? I'm gonna just Google it. As a movable feast, the date of Easter is determined in each year through a calculation. Easter is celebrated on the first Sunday after the full moon. Why? Why would we honor and worship the moon in spring? Because it's an excellent time to plant fucking food so we don't starve, silly. It's a means of survival. The Empress, or D, or Daleth, desire, dick, doing the nasty. Damn, she thick. She is also named the goddess of desire. Now, desire is an abstract thing, but it's very specific, because as we feel is a desire. If I feel like drinking some coffee or feel like going to work out, that is a desire. So we're never going to stop feeling. But people, the problem, and it's very subtle, you got to really use your big brain to think about this. Some people say, well, I don't want to stop desiring because I feel like I won't get nothing of what I want. But you will always feel. So what I mean by feeling, if you follow your promptings or follow the way that you feel from doing this spiritual work, that is a desire that you don't have to plan for. You know that you'll feel, and you know that you'll follow your feeling. This is how you know you're on the spiritual path. You have natural rhythms of patterns. If anybody have met somebody that they loved, I just want to do an experiment with the people in the chat. If you ever met somebody that you love, did you plan on meeting that person specific to the time, or was it a random occurrence that felt almost synchronistic? And it could be a sneaky link, a date, a husband, girlfriend, just somebody that you were fond of. Was it a random occurrence that brought you into the realization of this person? Or did you just plan it on your fucking calendar? On August 5th, I'm going to meet the man of my dreams. Or did it just happen? Just want to do an experiment. Nope, did not plan it at all. I did not plan on meeting my wife at all. I mean, I knew it. I didn't know when. I knew, like, you know it, but you just didn't know when, right? So, this is dark matter. Working with this is working with our desire for real, following our promptings. You don't think your ancestors going to bring you a bodacious babe in your life? You don't think your ancestors going to bring you a man in your life? Last time I heard, and you ain't hear this from me, but the ancestors been sending you good niggas, yo, for a long time. You just too in your own feelings and in your own way to accept the men that your ancestors keep bringing in your life. You really feel like men are the problem, but at the same time, you want to hold a man at night. How did that work? You got to deal with the seed of the nature. I'm going to not even manifest, but I'm going to birth. I'm going to plant a seed and let the Empress grow a healthy and successful relationship. But you know how people, they just be like already saying that men ain't shit. And then when you get a relationship and you with a guy and he turned out to not be shit, you not even understanding the accountability that you need to take for planting that seed. Sometimes people are not prepared to take the accountability for the seeds that they have planted in their life. But the basic mechanism of the Empress is understanding that responsibility wholeheartedly. This is why the Empress is known for luxury. Because everybody want luxury. But the person who planted the seed for luxury and nurtured the luxury, understood the patterns, and allowed luxury to flow in her life is a different type of breed of a person. We all want it. Wanting it is not enough. Programming your subconscious mind is not a optional thing. It's a requirement. Because wanting is not nothing. It's not even going to motivate nobody. When you get down to your lowest of lows and you doing the most reckless ass of shit, is because you never programmed your subconscious mind. You wanted something for so bad and never gotten it, and it has driven you crazy. This is where you get into chaos. This is where you get into, women are crazy. Men are crazy. No, we are powerful and we don't understand our power, and we become a hazard to ourselves and everyone around us. This is why, to learn the difference, and you could look at this, there's many different levels to look at this. You could look at the high priestess as your daughter. You could look at it as your younger version of yourself. If you're a man, you could look at it as your intention. You could look at it as your goal. This is like if you get a card and you're pulling the high priestess and you're trying to understand what it means. It can mean many different things. It depends on who pulls it. But the basic mechanism, the high priestess represents the intention. The Empress represents the manifestation. What it has become. For those of us who have not been intentional about our lives, when we get into our 30s and our 40s and we look at what we have become, now we are crazy. Because the reality of it is, we had all of the time in the world to program our subconscious mind. But because we didn't understand the basic mechanism, all we did was hope, wish, watch scam artists on YouTube, scam. It's a lot of noise on these YouTube streets. And that could be daunting to a lot of people to not even want to create and not even want to put out content. But when I say it's noise, that's noise. You can create a symphony. You can be heard. Now, the average time you should spend on one video when you're beginning is 20 hours on one video. Even if it take you a month and you put out one video a month. Why? Because the energy that you put into your shit is the energy you get in return. So if you put 20 hours in a video, you will monetize your channel quicker than people who are just doing videos that take them 2 days. They just click go live and start talking. And then be like, man, I really hope my channel grow. No. I'm talking stats. I'm talking statistics. I'm talking facts of what it takes for your shit to grow. If you look at the picture that I'm showing in front of you and you look to the left at the seed, the longest energy for which you don't see a growth is from the seed to the first portion of growth. So when you plant a seed, a YouTube channel, a relationship, a career choice, a skill development, the hardest part is to plant that seed and not see no fucking results. When you plant a seed, a rose, it could be 2 to 3 weeks and you don't see shit. That's the most important part of manifestation. We must know what it is that we're bringing into fruition. And we must be okay with the period of time it takes for it to manifest into something. And the amount of time for which you don't see anything growing from it is the amount of time you spend developing, putting the effort into it. 20 hours is too long. Having a channel that have no growth and no views is too much of a struggle for me though. Not getting no type of feedback or bounce back, not helping you create your bottom line on no level. You just out here just doing shit because you see the next person do it. Well, the person that you see with the 50,000, 100,000 views is because they put the time and energy into it for it to grow. So when it comes to the basic mechanism, now you could plant a seed and nothing comes out of it. Does that mean that planting seeds is not a process that leads to growth? Or the conditions wasn't right for the seed to grow? You would just have to determine. It's a case-by-case basis. Even, I'm gonna go off topic, but hopefully stay on topic. Even this form of like marketing your business. The problem with marketing your business is that you can create an ad that you're just in love with. And you put that ad out and nobody is fucking with it. And you just give up on ad creation altogether. Well, why does McDonald's put out thousands of ads to test which ones win? And the ones that win, they invest in. That's why Monopoly is obviously advertising that works. So it's brought in every year. They've been playing Monopoly ever since I was a child. Because it's obviously something that works. So in planting seeds, when you have a garden, do you plant a multitude of seeds or do you just plant one seed? You plant a multitude of seeds. Do every seed that you plant in your garden grow to be a great bush or a great tree? No. Some do, some don't. This is why we understand the basic mechanism of magic. You do a whole bunch of positive shit. Every day you put out positive content that helps people. Every day you do things that build people up. Every day you plant those seeds of expansion. And then what comes back to the person on the outside is like, man, how the fuck did you manage to manifest all of this abundance? You must know magic. You must know some secret. No, you just know the basic mechanism of manifestation. And you can bear witness to just drive through Ohio. You can bear witness the multitude of farms that utilize the same principle. They're working with the Empress. Why aren't you? Do you not see the patterns of the universe? Do you not understand that things work at scale? This is why they call the Empress or Venus chaos, or women are crazy. Women are unpredictable. No, women just follow a specific pattern that you observe it or don't observe. If you observe the pattern, then it's things that you can do that could create certain types of energies as a man. And you can choose to do these things and create chaos, or you cannot do them. The reason that I know this is because there are billions of married people that operate under the same basic mechanism. Because the natural thing that a man want to do is go to the strip club every night, get his dick sucked by all different types of women, fucking go to another strip club after he got finished getting his dick sucked, go to a hotel room, invite a prostitute up, and then come home and eat some food. He want to spend his whole day fucking. You know why he don't? Because a woman has motherfucking magical powers that'll fuck your life up. So you decide in another way to, I'ma just behave differently. Men don't behave faithful to you because they are great men. Men are faithful to you because they respect your gangster. They respect your chaos. You know his social security number. You know where his clothes is at. You know where his mama stay. You know how to loosen lug nuts. You cook his fucking food. You could do all types of shit to that man. So he gonna think, okay. Now, if you dealing with a man and he doing everything that he wanna do, and he know that it's hurting you, and he doing it anyway, he don't respect your gangster, ma. He don't respect your chaos. You know what you need to do? You need to stop manipulating him. You need to stop crying. You need to stop acting like you a victim and tap into your chaos. Make him respect your gangster. Don't even do nothing. Start dealing with the Empress. Start dealing with your manifestation energy. Start setting the seed of how you want to be treated in your relationship and watch what happens. People only going to treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. Do you know that? And due to feminism, due to public school education, we are really thinking that we are nothing but human beings and rely on the physical world for all our sustenance. That when I'm talking about spirituality, I gotta do it in such a form or a fashion to where I gotta talk about the mechanics of this shit, because niggas will swear I'm talking mumbo jumbo this whole time. And even though it's a lot of noise out there, don't lump me in with the niggas making noise. I'm out here trying to create a fucking symphony. For a person listening to a symphony who don't understand different rhythms and different fucking syncopated understandings, it is noise to a person, and that's the most supreme form of music, or avant-garde jazz. I play some shit from John Coltrane, you would swear to God that I'm listening to noise. But I don't listen to goddamn John Coltrane at Temple University so many times that I understand everything that is happening because I recognize the patterns. I'm listening to masters. You listen to it, it's just pure chaos and noise. But this is why you got to sit in the darkness. This is why you got to study your chart. This is why you got to understand the earth, because it's going to be something that you learn. The fifth time that you plant your garden is going to be better than the first time you planted your garden. The longer you meditate on nothing but darkness, don't meditate on what has happened or what will happen, because it already has happened. We live in a 5-dimensional universe. We are connected to spiritual things. So if something bad was going to happen, we wouldn't even be here. This is how advanced we are. We've all reincarnated at this time to enact the golden age, but we don't understand who we are. We only understand what we have been taught. We are pure chaos. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And this is something that you need to learn and sit with and understand. Because if you don't, it's going to seem chaotic. It's going to seem crazy. It's going to seem like it's just a big smorgasbord of mess. And in fact, it isn't. It is a beautifully structured pattern that we were once unaware of, but now we are completely aware of it. And the reality of it is to learn how to love the women in your life. If it is your mother, it is your daughter, it is your sister, it is your girlfriend, it is your wife. You need to learn how to put her on the pedestal and teach her about herself. And this is probably going to be the hardest thing that you're going to do, because the reality of these women is that they for the streets. They don't love you. It's all about them. They don't care about no family. They don't care about no marriage. They may want it. They don't care about it, because if they don't get it, they need a protection for if they don't get it. They need to keep their guards up for if something bad happens. So they're not going to commit to love, and that shit is over with. That shit is over with. So, because the seed of it is that I hate men. I can't trust men. I don't like men. Whatever. The seed of it is I don't like women. Women have done me wrong. This is the seed of it. So the creation of it is toxic ass relationships. Every single day, something on the internet about a toxic ass relationship going awry. Baby daddy going crazy. Baby mama going crazy. And why is it not going to get better? Because this is the generation of people who is watching Why Did I Get Married 1 and Why Didn't I Get Married 2? And instead of extrapolating it for the propaganda that it was, motherfuckers was like, did you think it was a good movie? Yeah, I thought it was a great movie. I didn't like it that much. I thought the first one was better. Tyler Perry movies, everything that said you don't need no man, you don't need no relationship, and this is the reality of not understanding the Empress, not understanding the seed. So what you'll see is the seed theory. This is the fractal cosmology, that everything in the universe is made at scale, from you to a planet. And the building and growth of all things within the universe can be manipulated and quantified and multiplied, because it's a simple formula. E equals MC squared. When you match your energy, the mass matches the energy. Simple theory that brings about all creation. Now, if you see this seed and see what it manifests to, that is just the symbol of Venus, or the symbol of Empress. If you look at the lower left-hand corner, I don't know, you'll see that heart, and you'll see the same symbol being shown. Because we're talking about a basic, fundamental understanding. This is why when it comes to relationships, it's cool to start demanding shit in reference to how you want to be treated and how you want to be feel, because that's your seed. Because if you don't, A person to think, oh, let me stress this person out because this person I've chose to love me. Let me be the person that stresses them out. Let me be the person that brings them negative energy. And you would hate that type of relationship. So what I'm saying is begin to create everything from the seed level. Begin to create everything from magical perspectives. This is the high priestess, which brings us into manifestation and understanding how to specifically manifest. Another symbol of the Empress is Venus. And Venus is a very important star. It's the third brightest star, only second to the sun and the moon. Venus is known as the illuminator of consciousness. So if the sun is our everyday working and the moon is how we feel, that's just everyday mundane life. Venus, or the true star or the true planet, represents intuition or cosmic understanding or religion or spirituality or illumination. That's what Venus represents. And what are you illuminated to? You're illuminated to the fact that you are a creator. So if your life has been hard, the irony is that you created it hard at a cold level. If you've been single your whole life, the irony is that you created that code to be single. If you are beautiful, you've created that code to be beautiful. It's people who riding around in Mercedes Benz, AMGs, and houses. And if you don't have that, you might be thinking they doing some Illuminati rituals. Or they just following a basic mechanism of planting the seed of specifically knowing what they want. A 2023 AMG with the factory rims that look like Pirellis, but they not Pirellis because when you look closer at them, they got the Mercedes-Benz emblem on it. So you like, damn, Mercedes-Benz is doing it crazy. They giving you goddamn rims for factories. They give you goddamn sports tires for the factory, man. I want that. So you put that in your code, 2023 Mercedes-Benz AMG, and you follow your feelings and your promptings that lead you eventually to it. So the first part of setting that intention is the most important part because that's the part where you don't see no results. And it's usually during this part, during the manifestation process, that people give up on said 2023 AMG. This is the crux of the spirituality, is that you can have whatever you want. And whatever you don't want, you created that. This is supreme intelligence. This is intelligence, and it benefits you and it benefits everybody around you. There is nobody holding you back. There is no hex against you. There is no generational curse. There is nothing stopping you besides understanding the mechanisms of growth and development that we can bear witness to in our lives and in society. So for clarity's sake, I want to, when you get in a reading or you're trying to understand your daughter in reference to understanding yourself, understand it through the priestess and the empress. You as the mother are the empress and your daughter is the priestess. Do not let your daughter come out here crashing out. Don't have your daughter be for the streets. Like, oh, baby, it don't matter if you fuck these niggas. It don't matter, baby. You can fuck these niggas because I fuck these niggas and everything turned out right with me. I'm all right. No, please stop having your daughters crash out. The priestess is a virgin while the empress is pregnant. The priestess is veiled, meaning that nobody sees her, nobody touches her, but the empress is unveiled. The priestess is the gateway to planetary understanding cosmic patterns, understanding her life path without having to be distracted by a bullshit ass baby daddy. I mean, if it wasn't for a bullshit ass baby daddy, I wouldn't be here, but that don't mean that I need to champion that shit now, do I? Empress is the presence of mind. So after you have not given your energy away to people who didn't deserve your energy, and you connected with your soul and not connected to a deadbeat daddy, then your presence of mind would be much different than somebody who is needing external relief to understand themselves. That does not make sense. The priestess represents the moon, which is the preliminary feminine energy, understanding your cycles, understanding your menstruation, while the empress is Venus, which is the one who have grown through her cycles, developed through her cycles, and develop a level of witchcraft, sorcery, or mastery of the physical world. And all of these happen just by simply avoiding late night sex, late night sneaky link rendezvous, and things of that nature. So this might make sense, this might not make sense, but once again, I must elucidate and bring it to the forefront. So we're reading the Hebrew alphabet from right to left. Aleph is A, Bet is B, Gamel is C, and Dalet is D. In this video, we've been talking about Dalet or Daleth, the doorway, or the gateway, or nature, or the empress. Gamel, which we talked about in our previous video surrounding the high priestess, represents the camel, a car, a vehicle, or some form of water energy that allows for sustenance during long journeys, meaning that the energy that you need to go far is within yourself. So this is Gamel. This is the G. Dalet, right, is the doorway, allowing you to go through any door that you want to go through. There is a movie that came out recently, Shazam 2, The Fury of the Gods, and in their lair, there is an area where there are just a plethora of doors that people can travel through. Now, this is the area of Dalet. When we go deep into our meditation, we could go to any realm. We could tap in with the goddesses. We can tap into the fairies. We can tap into the ancestors. There are many different doors that we could pass through. Now, you would say, well, I don't need to understand this. And this is kind of, whatever. I got a job at 7-Eleven. Well, the majority of your life is going to be spent in, not life, even if you talk about sleeping, but the majority of your existence will be spent in these spiritual dimensions. This actual life that we are living is literally a pit stop. And in this pit stop, we forget who we are as spiritual beings. The remembering is through the concept of God, which is a veiled understanding. Many people can't be specific to God and what it means and what it represents. However, if you follow Jewish people, they write God specifically G-D, meaning G and D, meaning Gamel and Dalet, because Jewish people do study the Kabbalah and they understand the Hebrew alphabet and the power behind it. What is a deeper allusion to Gamel and Dalet, who actually is God, is the black woman. Why do I say that? Because Gamel represents the high priestess, Dalet represents the empress, and we know that all life has come from the black woman. And the reason why all life has come from black women is because black women hold a hierarchy and understanding of spiritual knowledge and spiritual wisdom. The reason that black women don't take control of that power is because black people allowed themselves to be sexualized by mainstream media and, bullshit ass niggas that you meet on Plenty of Fish and things of that nature. So if you ever wanted to reclaim your spiritual power, you would need to raise your sexual energy from your root chakra up through your sacral chakra, through your solar plexus, through your heart chakra, through your throat chakra, third eye, and finally your crown chakra. Send that energy back down and work the energy through your chakras to become whole and understand who you are as a spiritual being. We run through this whole process in the book Chakra Nova, which is included in the book bundle, which the link will be in the description. However, for those of us who want to understand how to tap into the other dimensions, the thing for which I use to tap into other dimensions, not gonna lie, not gonna hold you on that one. The beautiful power of psychedelics, the beautiful power of psilocybin. Really do appreciate those who give reviews and let us know their process. And I also want to say, when you are microdosing, I know you tempted to do 2, 3, 4, or 5 to get that feeling, but please take one. I promise you, it's pure grade psilocybin. You don't have to chase a feeling because the feeling should come naturally. The feeling should become as a form of being guided. And being guided by spirit is not this big, elaborate, you know, celebratory thing. It's just knowing what you're going to do daily, knowing your purpose for life, and knowing what you're building into. If we bring up the seed theory, it's just knowing what your ultimate manifestation is, knowing where you're at in the process, and understanding that when you do plant that seed, there might be a time where you don't see any results. But hey, once you do start seeing the results, it's on and popping, you know. And what really brought me to the light is just, last night, man, um, I drank some tea. I drank some horny goat weed. I drank some horny goat weed. I drank some linden flowers, and I drank some ashwagandha. Had a real healthy cup of tea. Then I took me 3 capsules before I went to bed. I was just trying to see if I was going to turn into a sex machine, and I did, man. I had some good sex, last night off that horny goat weed. That horny goat weed is powerful, man. Cause it was like I was really insatiable. Like I was in a spirit where I was just like I was just in love, and that horny goat weed, I was reflecting on it this morning, like, man, I'm gonna call that tea digmatized tea. If you ever want to digmatize a girl, take you a couple capsules, drink this digmatized tea before you take her to the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna put her your wife, of course, not no random from the strip club, but sometimes you gotta put it on. Sometimes you gotta act, not even act, but you gotta restore them natural feelings of desire. And that horny goat weed brought it up out of me last night. So if you interested in herbs, we got herbs on the site too. ColombianExchange.com. Link is in the description. I really do hope this video was not worth it because it didn't cost nothing. I hope this video was something that you could learn from. Now, as I'm looking over on the article, which is located on the Substack, link is in the description for that. I go into way more detail than what I did here. You could either wait for the book, listen to this video again, or become a member on the Substack for as little as $5 a month to get access to this article. I think it'll be good for your notes. You will read the things that I didn't necessarily get to touch on because I'm not about to just read this article word for word. That'll be weird. But yeah, just doing stuff for people. As I'm growing, as I'm learning on my spiritual journey, I'm just sharing my gnosis with people, and I'm hoping that it's helping you along your spiritual journey. But understand that you're going to have to do the work your damn self. You understand? You got to do the work yourself. I might go to the gas station and add me a pill to the horny goat weed though. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here and work on some more content and yeah, just keep. I'm gonna start working on the Emperor video. Start taking notes on that and be looking out for the Emperor video. Got a full moon video coming up. That's gonna be the next video that I do. Gonna start preparing for that. And yeah, just staying current with the cosmic downloads and hopefully you doing the same. Hit me up, hoodmystic@gmail.com, or follow me on Instagram at thehoodmystic. And other than that, I will see y'all on the flip side. Thank y'all for watching. I really do appreciate y'all for that. And I will see y'all on the flip side. Peace.